We're live. Hey guys, it's Sandy Missouri, expert book for you, and I have such a treat for you today. I am here with author Evans Mensah. He is so fascinating. Like, I have enjoyed working. We've done 2 books together, and I have enjoyed every moment of them. So I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Evans. And instead of reading your bio and telling all about you, I'm just going to turn it over to you and let you tell who you are and what you do.
Thank you very much, Sandy. I regard, first and foremost, for the opportunity you've given me to be here. I regard you as a family, and our journey has been very interesting. My name is Evans Kwesi Mensah. I keep saying the Mensahs. We have a lot of Mensahs. It's like the Patels, it's like the Smith, the Johnsons. So I love the Kwesi in the middle. That's the person.
Oh.
And that's it. I'm a native of Ghana, a proud native of Ghana, and resident in the United States, and just passionate about people. Just passionate about. I've had many academically part of the degrees that I need to have to survive, but I've been blessed also with an amazing family. But what really triggers me in life, Sandy, about me personally, is about people, making people happy and excited. That's me.
I love it. I love it. So you have 2 books that we've worked on together. I've got one of them sitting right here next to me, the most recent one, Beyond the Credentials.
Yes, ma'am.
If I can get it without the glare too much.
That's correct.
And your first book was Synergy and Commonality.
I got it right here.
You got it right there. Perfect. We're match set. There we can get both of them up there. Yes. Yeah. And both of these books are on a very similar themes, right? About self-empowerment and leadership. And maybe tell us a little bit about your books.
Okay, so let me put it on the first one first. This Synergy and Commonality, The Key to Success, was a book that I started, for now, I should say 10 years ago, when I was in Princeton, New Jersey, working for Fortune 500 companies at the time. And I was going through some challenges, and I decided to start putting some notes down. At the time, it wasn't a book I was writing. I didn't even know what manuscript meant at the time. I was just jotting down. My wife said, just put your frustrations down. And over time, I didn't put it into writing properly for so many years. And 3-4 years ago, I decided to go back to it. In summary, I realized that if nobody's ready to listen to just negativity, right? So I turned the negative frustrations all into something positive. And I felt like, hey, we all need each other regardless. And in that book, I also spent time to thank everybody who even frustrate me along my way, because they made me tougher, they made me better. So wow. To me, I felt we all need each other. Our fingers and hands are not together. They are not the same sizes, but trust me, you need all together in that synergy, in that collaboration to do things. So the book really walks you through a journey of things that you need to do to be successful, knowing that we all need each other in terms of diversity. And the second book which thank you for that. And also the second book, Beyond the Credentials, that both of them became Amazon bestseller within the first few weeks of its publishing. Thank you, Sandy, for your support. And I should say that Beyond the Credentials I had to think hard. I spent more time reviewing it versus even writing the book, just because I wanted the content to resonate with people. And it fit into the challenges that we're going through even right now. I didn't write about pandemic, but I used that as a way to bring people together. Most important things like family. If you have all the titles and credentials and you have no family or good family, and I don't mean family in terms of having children, biological children on your own. I want to be careful with that. We are all blessed and gifted differently. So it could be your nieces, your nephews, your friends that become family to you. So I spent time to really grab into the things that we need beyond the credentials, like trust, passion, loyalty, things that we need, and fulfillment in life. That's the way I've spent time on this book, and it's exciting to work with you and to make it a bestseller. I'm so grateful.
Thank you. So, but let's talk more about your book. I mean, I want to know when you said, okay, I think I'm going to write a book. Did you have any fears around it? What were those fears?
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm a native of Ghana. We're an English-speaking country. I've been here for so many years now, over 15, probably getting to 15 years when I came to do my master's. And still, I'm not an author. In my family, I can assure you, even my little brother is much better to me, better than me when it comes to writing and reading. And so I'm the least in the family, like, to be thinking of writing. My senior brother is a journalist and he's the writer, and I've learned under his feet when I was young. And so, and my sister did literature. So they all went in, did English stuff things. And I'm a supply chain expert doing strategy, doing all those things and doing training and development, but nothing regarding book. Then all of a sudden the desire came. And so I realized that, yes, we all have passions hidden in us that we don't know until being triggered. And that was what happened to me. It got triggered at a point. So yes, I had a Bible to say, are you going to succeed in this? What is this? Are you really into? So I still do. Sometimes I look at my books, I'm like, did I really write this? I open certain chapters just to read, to educate myself back, to be sure that, because I was inspired to write both books. And I'm so grateful I have no disappointment. But in terms of fear, Sandy, you know it. I was scared.
Yeah. So, what gave you the confidence to do it, or how did you move past it?
Over 20 years ago, Sandy, I had a strong passion, and I'll tell you what that passion was. I was going through challenges still at the time. Then I was back home, and I told myself, no, if you want to climb and achieve anything, the onus is on you. Even though we need people, the shoulders to climb on, you need to put in efforts to be successful. So I always had a phrase that and I wrote then in all the books that I was learning, schools that I was attending, every course, be it economics, science, I wrote in there, I'm going to study this course, or I'm going to do this, and I'm going to allow nothing come between me and the fulfillment of my aim. That has been my anchor all these years. So even though I had a fear, like fear for every other thing, even fear to even travel, I'm always flying all over the world. But entering the plane, I'm always scared, But I always encourage myself that I would not allow anything come between me and the fulfillment of my aim. I would have been hiding in a corner somewhere, but I allowed that not to stop me at all, Sandy.
Nice. So you just kind of overpower. Like, yeah, okay, I'm scared. Now let's get to business.
Absolutely.
Nice. I like that. So tell me about your writing process. I mean, you decided now you're going to write a book. You've got these blank pages in front of you. And let's specifically talk about your more recent book, because, this one is more recent and didn't percolate over 20 years the same way, I should say. Yeah. So tell me about your process. Like, literally, how did you start? You have this idea in your head, and then what?
So that is what I want to encourage everybody listening to us right now. That be it the book writing or whatever you need to do, the first thing you need to do is to take the step, one step first. Sometimes we look at the mountains and we feel the mountains are too big for us. The goal is to take it in a molehills, right? Take it like every step and you get to the top. So what I did was I started writing. Like the first book, I was like a baby. I knew nothing about writing. As a matter of fact, I didn't know the name manuscript. Like I said, I didn't know what it meant because I wasn't in that world. If you ask me what the seven steps of waste management in terms of supply chain is, I'll tell you what it is, right? At the time, I didn't even know what manuscript meant. So what I did was I just started writing without really thinking about the design of writing in terms of this has to go in this sequence, this has to follow. I was just writing a diary, just writing anything that comes to my mind. And then later, I started putting it together, but I sought advice because I knew that, sometimes we have a little bit of knowledge and we assume that that is all, but it's important to always speak to experts within the industry. At the time, I did not, but I did research. I did all the things that I need to do. Then I started now sequentially putting it together. Now, the most important thing about this type of writing is you have to think about not you, your audience. but you have to be sincere and to be creative, and let them read a book and feel like they are next to you. Let them read a book and feel like, whoa, every chapter. And the last thing I don't like writing about is writing something just to make pages. I want to make sure every sentence, every line item is impacting somebody. Like I've received numerous mails, numerous reviews, and people are calling me and telling me, Evans, you're speaking to me. And recently, I had a coffee with a friend who just told me just about a week ago, and she's like, her book is filled with green pen, and she showed it to me. She's like, Evans, I'm getting more copies, and I just want to impact people's lives. So the writing style came naturally, just based on research and learning at the same time, and just be humble about what you do.
What was the biggest challenge of the entire process for you?
Is there challenge of failure? Honestly, because first going through the review and identifying the mistakes and have to do it over 20 or 30 times is so frustrating because you have to be at pace. But then you're done, you're like, okay, is this book going to sell? Is it going to? Then the next thing is you've spent a lot of money and time. Okay, if not even for the money, just break even. Are you going to make the impact? Is it going to make the impact? Because some people, because you don't have probably the last names that goes with your name, no matter what you do, you're going to get criticism, right? If you have certain last names, regardless of what you do, it's going to be applauded. The world is going to be jumping on you. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful phrase. However, if it's coming from Mensah, who is that first? They're going to prejudge you. So I had that at the back of my mind. But like the initial forte is that allow nothing come between me and the fulfillment of my aim. That has been the propeller of my joy, the fear of failing. However, I'm very excited that so far that's been overcome.
Wow. So really the biggest challenge wasn't so much an external force like finding an editor or something like that. It was really just overcoming your own fears.
I got you. Why would I be scared? I mean, Sandy was there.
Okay, you had me for the second book, but not the first. The first book, you know, it was already written when we met.
Right, it's true. Yes, you know the story. I went through a lot, not to go into detail on that. I went through challenges, but sometimes the challenge is to trust. You know, that's why I like Ronald Reagan when he made that statement, which is part of the phrases that I made in even the two books. Trust but verify. At the time, I did not verify well. I trusted too much. And so I had some challenges, especially in the first book. Actually, the first part of the first book, which came as a failure first, and you came in to save me, right? And then we turned that book into a bestseller. And then, without a doubt, I told you I'm going to write a second book. It was back to back, year over year. And the inspiration of the second book came from the first one on my book tours and my training programs, and people are like, turn this into a book. And I'm like, the light bulb just went off on me like that. So yes, the first one was more challenging in terms of being the first. It's like your first baby, right? Maybe your first boyfriend, your first girlfriend, you meet for the first time, you are like scared and going through that. But second babies, third babies, you're like, okay, I got it, I can fix this. So not being cocky, but just being careful. The focus on the second fear was different from the focus on the first fear. The second fear was more to make sure nothing grammar wrong. The phrase is perfect. Everything is so. Reason I spent more time reviewing the second book than even the writing part of it. So yeah, there were two different fears that I had.
Interesting. And what's been the effect of having your books? I mean, has anything changed from where you were before the book to now?
Personally, no. In terms of me, I'm Evans. Nothing has changed in terms of I'm even more humble because I'm very careful not to present. People already start putting you on a pedestal already. Like, yes, the achievement is there. Yeah, I'm an author now. I have a new name. My new PhD is author, and not just an author, a best-selling author. So yeah, I'm proud of that. But I want to stay calm, humble, and continue to mentor and support the people that I support globally, locally, just do what I need to do. So that hasn't changed. But obviously what has changed is the fact that I've become wiser. I've become smarter. I've become more knowledgeable. And I would say many doors even do open as a result. I feel most importantly fulfilled, because in life, like I said, in Beyond the Credentials, it's not all about the money. Yes, it's important. I want to be very financially rich. It's not also about the title. Of course, I've gotten many of those titles. I wish to get more, but to have a fulfillment that you've written something that would be there for thousands of years to come. Even when you pass, it's going to be there to resonate with people forever. To me, that gives me that fulfillment. So that's the change in life.
Yeah. And what about professionally though? Have there been any effects on your business, on your professional life, on your professional connections or anything like that?
Absolutely. Like I said, I teased that in my previous statement that
You
it
did.
became like a book door opener, right? Where people now trust you because you're a public figure and you can't just say anything. So if you write something like my book, every page of the book is a chapter you can use for training. So if I've written like an expert, you can trust that I should be able to be the expert to do those trainings. So yes, many doors seem to be opened because sometimes people want to just try a book first. I have many people who just try to let me just get a copy and see what is in there. And then they get a copy, they end up buying 60 copies. Somebody just ordered about 50 to 100 copies. And
Wow, that's fantastic.
absolutely. Somebody get a copy. A doctor friend of mine got one, got six for all his friends, and people are buying for the institutions. People, because they read it first, they right in the middle, they're like, no, this book needs to be in the hands of every professional. So for that reason, it's also opening door. I've calls from many schools and institutions who want me to just come as a guest speaker, or sometimes they invite you to, and that's what I've been doing over 20 years. But sometimes the book has opened more doors, and to me, it's very exciting. And so I'm getting two things, Sandy. I'm getting that fulfillment in terms of what I've done to make impact, and guess what? I'm also getting the financial blessings that comes with it. So yeah.
Sorry, hold on one second. No, not now.
I love
We're
it.
live, guys.
No, that's the beauty of live TV. I love it.
So, so
I
let me
believe
explain what just happened.
that's your puppy, right? I believe
No, that was sorry. So my son was putting together a clothing rack for me, and they just finished building it, and so he was trying to bring it into the room. And then so I see the door opening and this metal thing starting to come in. And at the same time, when I turned to look, my hand went. And what you can't see is that I have a drink here that then fell. It was a total chain reaction.
that's what
So,
that is the beauty. This what just happened is the beauty of naturality. You see, I'm tired of fake or over pretense to be who you are not. This has made even the interview better for me. It brought natural self. Well, you're lucky. I'm in my home office and my kids are in school. They'll be back in. If they were here, you'd have gotten a visitor. So I
well, I would welcome them. But sorry about that. So I'm sorry to have interrupted you. But
no,
please.
you're fine. Yeah.
So I didn't know. I don't know if you had finished your thought on the opportunities that are coming to you.
Yeah, like I said, those are the many opportunities.
Yeah.
Like, and list go on, and I think many opportunities that already. Sometimes I'm already doing some most of things that I'm doing: training, coaching, mentoring, and also just going to institutions. I'm a strategy consultant. I do business coaching, and I help businesses, small businesses, big, medium, large businesses. I consult for the World Bank. I consult for Newmont Gold. Many companies. I consult for chambers of commerce. I consult for small mom and pop shops and just any institution that needs help to turn their business around to be more successful. And especially because I have the international background thing, it helps a lot because people think, oh, I don't need to go international and so I'm not bad at. No, you have international people with you. So then what kind of names and brands and strategies do you put it together to attract everybody into your market space? That's what I do. And I can tell you it's many doors seem open, and some of them I got to even say no to them, or sometimes I got to restructure and all that, and I'm expanding, and even opportunity to open a nonprofit as a result, just to, because I'm a giver. At the end of the day, yes, I want to make a lot of money, and of course, but it means nothing to me if the next person next to me is suffering. So my nonprofit, for instance, is creating a sense of diversifying our communities. That's exactly the name, to bring everybody together, to make sure that we need one another and we need that diversity to succeed. So yeah, those are the doors that are opening, many, many big doors, and it's exciting to work for yourself. Unlike when I used to work in the corporate world, that was a footprint for me. I enjoyed it. However, that was just a springboard for me to really identify who I am, and I'm very enjoying it so much. I control time and money now. Unlike before, I had the money, but I had no control over time.
Yeah.
Now, yes, I'm busy, but I have control over time and money at the same time, and that's very exciting for me.
Wow, great. So, what? Sorry, let me just close the door. Just open. Oh my goodness.
I love this.
All right, there. Now I can probably control the sound better. Sorry about that.
That's with your mother. That's just your mother.
Yes. It doesn't matter how many times I say I'm going on a live. Open mic.
First chapter of this book is family. So of course we need to adjust to this. And I don't think anybody listening to us, probably they are lucky they don't experience that. Doesn't mean they were perfect. We need that family first. So please enjoy your son, and he's part of the interview, please.
Yes. Although he does not like to be on camera. Otherwise, I bring him in. But I have to beg him and cajole him to get him on camera. So I wanted to ask you if you think if you think that it's important for people to tell their stories or write their book, and why.
Well, it's important because, Sandy, we all have a story. We all have some sort of a story. And, the unfortunate thing is that sometimes a lot of people's music are unsung and they leave this earth. And I think that it's about time we put on our dancing shoes, and I say that metaphorically, to really let people know your story. Now, the way I do advocacy, or the way I want my story to come, is I do it through training and coaching and all the things that I've been doing for so many years, locally, community-wise, and internationally. But right now, I found a different channel. That is through writing the book. So I want to truly encourage people. Yes, we all cannot be entrepreneurs, or we all cannot be writers. I do agree on that. But you need to find a channel where you can truly articulate your story, because that story might be a life changer for somebody else. But then how do you get? I don't have a world stage where I send a tweet and the world listens to it. I don't have a world stage where cameras are on me when I'm about to do a speech somewhere where the world can listen to it over and millions of people are watching me. No, but I have a world stage. One of them is now, talking with you. This is going to be reshared and shared and shared, and people are going to listen to it because it's digital. And then it's also in a book writing. So me, those who have the passion to write a book, I would say that contact Sandy. Sandy will be a great help to you personally. I know she didn't ask me to say this. I'm saying this on her behalf. She's a wonderful, fantastic lady. And personally, Sandy is like a family to myself and my wife right now. She's a true family to us. And I say that not just on camera, in sincerity, and she knows that I'm saying the truth. She's a family. We talk on the side. So to me, yes, everybody has a story, and we need to hear it. Whichever means, whichever platform, we need to hear it.
So what advice do you have for other experts and entrepreneurs who have been thinking about it but haven't pushed past that fear yet?
So if you can borrow and pay a little bit token to me in terms of the phrase that I'm going to give you, it will be great. Just for laughs, just to say, allow nothing to come between you and the fulfillment of your aim. And what that means is that could be yourself. Sometimes the enemies we have are not people that are far off from us. They are not the person you're pointing at, because that's just a one finger pointing to that person, about three is pointing back to you. So I think we need to first, there's something we call, and I teach on this, called iceberg. You need to start looking at your personal iceberg and determine the behaviors that you need to change before you start thinking about changing somebody's behavior. I need to do that several times, and I need to allow people to know that, listen, yes, we got to put food on the table, we got to take care of ourselves, we got to do all the things that we need to do to be fulfilled in life. But to truly be fulfilled in life, I want to say take that step until, because a lot of people have written. So when you ask me about the process I've been through, we have a short time, right? So I was trying to summarize it. It's about first having the desire to do it from your gut. The second stage is putting that gut feeling into writing, because there's always a commitment when you write something that will type it down that I need to do it. The next stage is putting on calendar to say I'm going to do this and be disciplined about it and do it. Make mistakes and allow yourself to make a lot of mistakes. And people are too scared to make mistakes. I don't think an immigrant like me will be sitting here writing two bestsellers back to back. I would have been saying, "Oh, I'm an immigrant, and let me hide in my little corner and just do 9 to 5." And no, no, no. I'm a different type. I'm a different species. You got the wrong person. I'm determined to unearth everything God's given talent that I have. So I want to urge all those entrepreneurs, and you don't need to be an entrepreneur, anybody with a motivation. If you want to do something, identify it. I cannot be a pilot, neither can I be a medical doctor. I know that for sure. So I know what I can do. If you know what you can do, my message to you, go do it, get it, and be fulfilled.
Oh, I love that. Tell me this: the iceberg concept that you're talking about, is that in one of your books?
No, interestingly, it might be my next book, but I do think on this, actually, to even small and big institutions. It's about an iceberg that you talk about. I bring that, the image comes in, and then people can Google that up. And what happens is what is underneath. Like when you watch Titanic, the movie, what we saw on top as the iceberg, some people are wondering, why should that iceberg break a big ship? What they haven't seen is what is underneath. The iceberg is a whole mountain under. What is on top is just a little fraction. So sometimes you got to see people and ask them, why are you behaving in a certain way? You should really go depth into people. Yes, I wrote a bit of that, but just don't use that word in my all books that I've written. But the point is, you need to first identify, why am I behaving this? Why is probably Sandy acting this way? There might be a reason. Probably you slept at the wrong side of life, or the way you were trained, or the way who raised you up, or where you were brought up, or the challenges you've been through. So we need to have a little bit of patience for ourselves. And before you identify what drives that behavior, there is a reason you behave that way too. Maybe your values, your culture. There are certain things, those are things what beneath we call it below the waterline, that goes under that you can see. But the iceberg you see is above the waterline. So the point is, we judge too quickly what is above the waterline versus what is below the waterline. But we need to first work on below the waterline to be able to now understand. Now, when you understand what it is, you can now work. There are strategies that you take to now work to turn the negative into positive. And these are things that we teach. And sometimes people take, and people's life change. Attitude towards work, behavior, the fear of doing what you got to do that you don't do. And personally, you got to self-motivate yourself. If you wait for heavens to drop to be on their knees begging you to succeed in life, you ain't going to get it. So you need to first self-motivate yourself. And the iceberg is a theory that will really help you. First identify it, then you take it step by step, and then push for it and be fulfilled in life.
I'm really loving this analogy and the concept, and I'm wondering, so is this next year's book?
Be ready. Be ready. Probably the title is going to be The Iceberg. You never know. You never know.
I think so. Well, before I let you go, is there anything else that you'd like to share?
No, I just feel that in life, I think we all need one another. We are living in a very world. First, I personally I should have started with this, to wish everybody who is going through any health issues right now, either through the pandemic or just physical. I want to take the opportunity to wish everybody well. We're living in a very unprecedented time right now in 2020. My son went to school, and this week they're going to take photos. And first, when they went to school, I feel like, am I doing the right? It's a very tough decision. We went through either homeschooling, online, or in person, but we had to get convinced over the measures that we have in the school. But I think that we need to take care of ourselves first, health-wise, to be alive, because talents are dying, and we don't want to lose anybody. And the other thing I want to share is that I pray that we respect and nurture each other to value one another. And nobody gave birth to themselves. Nobody decided to be born in California. Nobody decided to be born in Africa. Nobody decided to be born in the United Kingdom. You just came out of the Bible, and you're blessed to be the daughter of a prince, or the son of a king, and all of a sudden you're a princess, or whoever you are a special princess. I want to let people understand that the opportunities you have, if it is good, you are privileged. You have to bless others. People did not choose to be unprivileged. People who are going through challenges, they don't choose to be all ill. They don't choose to be ill. So our job is to love one another and come together. And that's all the things that I've displayed in my book, as well, all the two books, Synergy and Commonality, the Key to Success, and also Beyond the Credentials, that you have helped me successfully do. We need to come together. That is why, apart from my personal for-profit company, I also have a nonprofit right now that is going on, that is all about bringing people together through diversity to understand. Not because, Sandy, when people hear the word diversity, the first thing they think about is color. And I disappoint them. Yes, of course, diversity, color is just one of them. But I'm talking of, you go to a school, for instance, an elementary school, teachers who do a lot of work for us are not paid properly, Sandy. And so that's also diversity. Why are they not paid properly? They teach us and they are not paid properly. But you go to colleges, they are paid much better. That is not fair. So my goal is, and you go there, you see a lot of female, be it black or white, they are more in elementary school teaching. And you go higher, you see more males doing colleges and universities. Something is not right. That too is diversity. So my point is, let's embrace ourselves to make sure that we are all but one. I think that will make the world a better place.
I like that. Well, on YouTube, they're loving what you're saying. I've got people saying, thanks for the great information. Yes, you're right. We must turn negative to positive. So I think people really respond to your message. I know people really respond to your message, of course.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, that's, I like that. That's diversity and culture, especially culture, has always been fascinating to me. The where people come from, the words that they can use, the subconscious and unconscious factors that shape who they are. And so I really like that definition of diversity, that it's about so much more than just what color our skin is.
Yeah, but Sandy, look at it this way. In your body, if you were Sandy, Missouri, with just the sunglass, you'll be boring.
Yeah.
But guess what? You got sunglasses on, you got your hair on, you got your eyes, your eyebrow, your lips, your nose, your body makes you Sandy, Missouri. That is diversity in the first place. So first, when we talk of diversity, we got to look at ourselves first and look at what do we mean by the diversity. Your left arm, like I describe in my books, is totally different from your right arm. Same person. You're going to be surprised. One part is something is not right. You might have a bruise on one side. You're not going to get a bruise on the other one. So the diversity that we need to embrace first and foremost is an embodiment of ourselves first. In your house, you don't have everything the same. You might have the same type of cups and cups and cutlery sets, but maybe the fridge you have is different. The something, even if it's a fridge, it means it's a fridge. It's called a fridge for something. It's called a deep freezer. They are all diverse in your house. So when we start to understand those concepts of the diversity, that is what we take out there. Then now, when you go out there, you now understand that in the beauty is in the diversity. The fulfillment is in the diversity. The best things that we talk about in life, it comes through diversity. And so it's about time we start embracing ourselves better and not just rely on the TVs and what they're showing us to think that that is all to it to life. And that even happens to me. As an African, they assume that every African is on the street with a tattered cloth on, or maybe in the trees. I'm like, hello. People have homes and mansions over there, but they're not going to show you those ones. They're going to show you the most deprived areas. So it is also in the United States. Let's be honest. You go to certain parts of the United States, it's so deplorable. You're going to be, is this yours? Really?
Right.
However, nobody's going to show that. They're going to show their, the beautiful part of America. So we need to come together to embrace, to respect one another. I think that is it. Minor color is just one of them, just 0.1%. There are more to diversity.
Amen. Well, I think that people really want a lot more of you. Somebody's saying, Mr. Mensah, I hope Miss Missouri will have you on again soon. So I think that gives us a perfect segue to how can people find out more about you? Where can they learn more about your books? Where can they learn about your nonprofit? Where can they learn about your business?
Thank you very much for giving me, first of all, once again, thanks for the opportunity to talk to your audience. And I want to say hello to all of you who are listening live right now and who will be listening later. Yes, my name is Evans Kwesi Mensah, and the name is right there. You can see. And my personal website is Mensah.com. So EVANSMENSAH.com. So you can find most of the things I do over there. And obviously the books are on Amazon. You can get them, both my first and second book, they are all there. And my personal business website is ValueCycle.com, which has a branch in North America and also in Africa, because I'm all over doing, for tax purposes, I try to make sure I'm sincere to the governments that I work with. So it's ValueCycle Limited or LLC, so which is ValueCycle.com. And actually my nonprofit, which is literally new now, I'm just about to click the button for my website during this week, is about diversifying our communities. I was sharing with my wife just this morning, and I said, truly, my true self, it's more in not the for-profit, but it's for the non-profit, because I've been doing this for almost 30 years for free. I've used all my money to help a lot of people, and I do still help people. I coach people, guide them, and just show them opportunities. The only difference right now is just that I'm institutionalizing it. That's all. That's the difference, because I can't carry the burden alone. I want to make sure that it's a legacy that will be left years to come. And if we all can sing from the same hymn note, the world will be a better place. But I think evansmensah.com will be a starting point, because I'll give you leeway to the others that you can get to know me better.
Let's see if I can get that up on the screen up there.
Hopefully you got that spelling right and perfect. That's all you got to do. The Mensah. People come. You cannot fail, Sandy. You know that.
There we go. Did I do it right?
Congratulations. That's not bad at all. Yes, that's at least my personal website. And from there, you can get to know other things that I engage in. But
I think the other ones would take me too long to type. So
that's my name. So
yeah, so we'll leave that there. And if you want to hold up your book real quick, I'll hold up your other book. We'll do the book end of your book.
Let me hold the first one.
There we go. So these are his books. You can go over to Amazon and grab them, and you should. Synergy and Commonality and Beyond the Credentials. Hopefully it's not showing up backwards.
Hopefully not.
And just to get my own quick plug in there, or go to my website if you want to download a copy of my book, book it. My website is expertbook4u.com. And I could just talk to you all day. I mean, I find you fascinating. You and your wife are such lovely people. And, I could keep you on for hours, but we'll keep this short for this time until our next interview.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and joining me.
You bet. Thanks so much for having me.
And yeah, so I'll give you the floor just one last time if there's any last tip or anything you want to say before we cut out.
I'll say to everybody and also to myself, sometimes when we are speaking over there, I only have the stage right now. And I can tell you that your stage is waiting for you. And I'm going to speak to myself sometimes as I listen. I'm going to listen to this interview again to learn from myself. I'll tell you, never, ever, ever, ever give hope on yourself. Now, first, sit and think about why you were born onto this earth, regardless of the circumstances in which you were born. What is your music? What is your impact? What is your value? What music are you singing for people to sing behind you? And I say that metaphorically. So I want you to really think about yourself and start thinking, no, don't look down on yourself. Start thinking of yourself as the CEO of what you do. Do not only watch TV and see them in their private jets, in their private room. No, start something. Start doing something and start very little and start encouraging yourself. And remember, if you wait for the world to encourage you, you will never succeed. You'll never even get it. And I've gone past that stage where I'm waiting for somebody to always sing the song before I follow. You can be a lead singer in your own life. Identify what for which you are on earth for. And I think that will be very helpful. That is my calling. That is my passion. That is my goal. Thank you. I believe that will be yours too. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was powerful. And on that note, we're going to end it because I don't think we can top it. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been an amazing interview, and I know that that people have really enjoyed it. So I'm speechless. Thank you.
Bless you. Thank you so much.
Have a great day. Stay on with 1 second. I'm gonna end the broadcast and then I'll come back to you.
Sure.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Go on over to evansmensah.com and go check out his website. Go to Amazon. You can get his books and you can learn a lot more about his positive way of thinking and positive way of life. Until tomorrow, when we have a new guest, which you'll find out who that is tomorrow. Bye, guys.